It's fine. You go. We've paused.
Sure.
Oh, 100%. Enjoy your walk.
Great though.
No, not at all. You've added like glamour to it.
Oh, I don't really.
Yes, you have. I noticed your earrings. Hello, welcome to You Cow.
On tour.
On tour. We're not on tour. We're at our local. We're on location.
Oh yeah, on location.
So instead of our topics being in the teapot, we've just popped them in one of the cups. Look, we're just staying on brand. But I'm not drinking them. Ow, I just wet my teeth. That was not a good look. Pick a topic.
Oh, I'm not going for the middle one. I reckon
All
you-
right.
you
I
put it there on
didn't
purpose.
stick it out. I've just pretended to drink it.
Oh yeah. Turning 40.
I'm so glad you picked that one.
Ticket.
So, turning 40.
What a surprise.
This is
How
more of a. I'm
coincidental.
45. So, actually, the other day I was just like, how old am I? I forgot how old I was. So, I'm 46
You act like
this
you're
year.
2.
Oh, seriously?
But it's good. I liked it.
I'm 46 this
You
year.
were funny at that party.
And Lauren's, that party she's referring to is her 40th party, which you weren't going to have a party, were you?
No, because I'm lazy.
No, it's not because she's lazy. She said to me several months back in front of other people.
Did I?
This is what you said. Someone said about your 40th, and I said, yeah, you're going to do something, you're going to have a party. And you said, no, I haven't got any of my friends here. And I'm standing there like, seriously? Like, you know, we don't have a huge history together.
No, but it was more like, obviously, yeah, I have known my other friends longer and there would have been more of them.
Lauren's party, it was really pretty, like
It was only on, I turned 40 on,
last week.
yeah, and it was just a couple of days ago actually, the party.
Yeah.
So it's very recent.
Yeah, it's really recent, and that's why I popped it in here, because I know for a lot of people, turning 40 is pretty epic. It's like, oh, although it's the new 50 and the new 30,
Is
and
it?
like 60 is the new 50. Yeah, I reckon so. I
I
think
find it
so.
all weird, to be honest. Like, why people drag it out? Like, they'll spend the whole year celebrating. They go on these lavish holidays, and I'm like, you literally turned 40. I can really understand that, you know, if you're getting to a certain age where you're like, oh, well done for reaching this age, but 40's not that old. Most of us get to 40, if you know what I mean.
I don't think it's about being old. I think it's really important, and I've probably changed my mindset on this at different points in my life, but I think it's really important to celebrate yourself. And the only day you really have for yourself, even though other people in the world will share the day, is like your date of birth, right? It's like, it really is a nice celebration. And because I'm into numerology, that is the day that you start your new year cycle, right? So there's like a 1 to 9 year cycle. So it's really, for me, it's a really significant day, because that's when I will set my goals ahead of that. And I think 40 is a good year to go, like, you kind of caught enough wisdom, you've had enough fun, you know? But like, mine was like 5 years ago, and it was in COVID, which was annoying, because my plan to, I'm gonna go to Japan for my 40th, ended up being, we went to an escape room that had just opened outside of the lockdown, me and my husband. I think we went for a meal. And whilst that's a nice enough thing to do on an average birthday, I think people do wait for the big birthdays to do
Yeah.
big things, don't they?
Did you ever do Japan?
No, we'll wait. I think it's. I
Just
think
waiting
it's,
for your 50th.
yeah, which isn't far off, to be fair. I'm gonna. No, I might wait for Simon's 50th, which comes sooner.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I don't know. Like, it was just a thing I wanted to do then. We were all doing karate. I was learning. I had to do like my Reiki master certificate to do my holistic counselling diploma. It was a prerequisite. So everything was like pointing to Japan. And I thought it would be cool for us. And we like the Ghibli, however you pronounce it, you know, animations.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
and that's, I think, the museums in Tokyo. So there were a lot of things that I was thinking, oh, that would be a really beautiful family holiday, but a spiritual experience as well. But yeah, it didn't happen, and that's fine. Oh, you can come with, and then we can do a little episode. Or we can do a little episode over the
Me trying food.
video. Oh yeah, you wouldn't like Japanese food, would you?
No.
Okay, talking of food, so at Lauren's party, what was the food?
Oh, pizzas
Yum.
and a nice cake.
Oh yeah. So
That's where I thought you were going with it.
no. I was going with the pizzas.
Cake, I finished it yesterday.
Did you? That cake was massive,
Beautiful.
and it didn't all go. So you've basically had it for.
I literally had, the next morning I had 2 slices for breakfast, and then probably had another slice during the day, and then I had again the following day. I had cricket on Sunday, and I was standing in the cricket field, like at one point regretting my decision to have cake for breakfast.
Yeah, it's not the best decision.
I was like getting the shakes, and then I brought the rest of it to cricket, and it didn't all go. So I was like, yes. So I was
Yeah.
nailing a few more pieces last
Yeah.
night, and then I finally finished it.
Yeah, it was a big
So
cake.
nice.
My husband made it. We'll put a video up, show it. I think we have.
Yeah.
We've got a little video up, but it's funny because my husband made this cricket ball, which you make into halves as a cake, and that's actually how you make a cricket ball as well. We Googled it so that it would look authentic, and like the stitching and stuff on the side of the cricket
I know,
ball.
he painted that on.
Yeah, he
didn't
painted
I
that
saw
on.
that. He put a lot of effort.
But before that ball got put together, that pink ball got put together, I suggested a different design of the cake. So we have to share that. I might share that on this, because I've got a picture of that. It looked like 2 boobies.
Yeah.
Which was really childish, but you know. So I was talking about the food for pizza.
Oh, did you had your weird gluten-free
I got a
base.
gluten-free base because that's another topic, but I've been unwell since Christmas and I'm trying, oh, there's a big bug. I'm trying gluten-free at the moment, which is pretty tough, but there was a really nice gluten-free base. And when Michael, Lauren's husband, put it into the pizza oven, it still had that nice charred,
Oh,
you know, it
okay.
still tasted nice. So I felt really like
Was
included.
it raw before it went in, or was it was it already cooked?
Yeah, it
Didn't
wasn't
look at
raw
it.
dough. It wasn't like dough, but Michael had made the dough, hadn't he? Tell us about
Yeah.
the pizza oven.
Oh yes, we got a pizza oven as like a joint Christmas present to ourselves, and he's like become obsessed with it. So he'd be watching YouTube clips all the time about everything about the dough, not just preparing it. Like obviously, it's actually quite hard to shape it. It's harder than you realise, and then even turning it in the oven, because he burnt the bottom the one day, and then he started panicking because he knew he had to make them all for my.
So the day before the party, but
Not the day before, but like the time before he'd cooked them, like maybe a week before. So he was stressing about that. So he was like, he got this, he went into the pantry and he got a wrap out of the pantry. And I was like, what are you doing with a wrap? It was like 11 o'clock at night. I was like, why are you having a snack at this time of night? And he's like, I'm practicing how to turn the pizza.
Oh, that's cute.
So he got his thing and he's using the wrap and practicing. And I was like, oh my God, he's hilarious.
He was really dedicated.
Yeah.
It was really nice
No,
because
yeah.
you didn't have to worry about the food, and I think it's so nice to have like a wood fire taste like pizza.
Oh yeah, and they were nice. Everyone was loving them.
Yeah.
They were good.
But this is one of the conversations that come up when you're at a party and there's like pizza. People were talking about how they've got the like the stone wood fire pizzas, and like how it takes all day to kind of heat that up, and it's hit and miss whether you get it right. I guess it's different if you're in a restaurant or if you're a chef, but your one isn't that, is it? Is it an electric one or a gas one?
Gas one. So, but it's apparently like it still gives that taste. you
Yeah, it
know?
does. It still gives the
Yeah.
exact same taste, doesn't
So
it?
it's a gas one, and then it's you have to just, I think it's like 30 minutes to heat up, and it looks like a wood fire one. And
It doesn't. It looks metal.
No, but like that shape, the dome shape.
Yeah,
and all
I
that,
think it
and-
looks completely different.
Oh.
I was coming around thinking it was going to be like a stone one. I was
Oh, okay.
surprised to
It's
see
got
that.
stone in it.
Oh, that's where the flavour comes, because that's what I was going to ask. How does it achieve? Because it's literally a
It's just instead
high
of
tech thing.
It's just instead of heating by wood, it's gas. Like the gas comes out one side, and the way it's shaped inside, it comes out. The flame comes over the
Ah,
top.
okay.
But no, it was really nice. It was really funny because our friends had. She's like part Italian, and she said to me, "Oh my God, it's like the best pizza ever." And then she was telling me how they had bought themselves a wood fire one and spent a fortune on it. And she's like, it either comes out where the dough's raw or they burn it. And so he's a salesman, her husband, and he's He's so funny. He's Scottish as well. You know, like Scottish are known for being like stingy and stuff. He always gets a deal no matter what he's buying. So he was talking about, he's like, I'm getting rid of this, I want your one, blah, blah, blah. Next morning,
He bought one.
No, we wake up, me and Michael, and he'd sent us both a text, right? And he'd sent a photo to us of a car with a trailer and his massive pizza rubber in the back, and he's like, sold it?
No way! He sold it the next
He's
day.
gone home and sold it, and at 8 o'clock in the morning, someone had got it, and he was out, so he went out and bought himself our one.
That's hilarious because they were talking about, that was one of the people that were talking about like the difference between them and how long it takes, and that's so funny.
So they were messaging like, what cheese do you use? Like Michael sent,
How'd you make the dough?
Yeah, and all this stuff. And they put up a photo, they made pizza. I mean, it does take a while to like perfect it.
But with the dough, you can put it in the freezer, can't you? I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, no, one
probably.
of my friends used to freeze her pizza dough because they used to have Pizza Fridays.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And she used to freeze it. But have a look at what you have to do.
Yeah, because Michael once, when his parents were over, there was a few dough balls left, and he took them out, and he ended up cooking one, and then he put the other one back in the fridge, and then he took it out again, and that changing the temperature, putting it in the fridge, taking it out, it ended up just collapsing in the middle and going
So
awful.
it was gross.
Yeah.
Talking of dough balls, obviously not the dough balls that you make pizza. With the same pizza dough, can you make dough balls
Oh my
like?
God, have you ever been to Pizza Express? And had
Of course,
dough
I've been to
balls?
Pizza Express and had dough
Bloody
balls.
love Pizza Express dough balls.
Pizza Express is a cool. I don't know what it's like now. Did we go there?
I went there
last
for my
time?
16th birthday, I think. It was my favourite restaurant as a teenager.
I used to get the baby chinos for Rex when he was
Ah,
little,
yeah.
and the dough balls and the baby chino.
love
That's
the
so
dough ball.
cute, right?
So I was actually thinking about it. I was wondering, I'm assuming you just make the little balls of it and put them in. I need
Yeah.
to check because obviously making garlic butter is really easy.
Yeah.
Oh, I love dough balls.
Do you use like proper butter, and then do you just squirt like
Crush the
crush the
garlic
garlic
on it,
in there? Yeah.
Anyway, how is this or anything about turning 40?
Listen, pizza's like great about. We always go off on tangents, don't we? That's why we have this to keep us on track.
How do you feel when you turn 40? You know, because everyone makes this big deal. It's almost like as if, oh, do you feel any different? I'm like, no, I literally feel the same as I did yesterday.
I had a run from the age of 40, but I don't think this is anything to do with age. I think this is because it coincided with having vaccination, having COVID, being really unwell. I had a run of like up and down health, which I've not really like shouted about. I've just kind of like got on with it like the martyr I am, right? But I think that isn't to do with age. I think that is a combination of other things that were going on in the world as well. So like, you know, it was COVID. So it was not to be unkind. Like I was grateful that I had my health, blessed to have the family, blah, blah, blah. But it was pretty crap in that
Yeah.
respect, because anything that you did want to do, there was like restrictions. I think the following year, there was also a lockdown in Canberra where I was living on my birthday, and I was trying to like remedy that I'd had a crap birthday the previous year, and I'd booked tickets to go to see these drummers, like these female drummers, and it was going to be like a theatre or whatever. Anyway, they'd been locked down in Sydney, they couldn't get to Canberra. So you know where we ended up? Oh, this is horrible. On my birthday last minute, I sat there. I'm not easily bored because I'm always doing stuff so I don't get bored. And I was sitting there, and on that particular birthday, like when I was turning 41, I was like, I think it was 41, I was just like, I'm so bleeping bored. Like I should be doing something right now, but there's nothing really to do. But the only thing that we could do, I mean, you had to wear your masks, was go to the Sesame Street Circus. So we were all sitting there eating popcorn like
What,
that.
like Big
because-
Bird?
Yeah, well, I don't know. There were characters on stage. There was a motorbike thing. It was like marginally entertaining, right? I don't know.
Something to do. I
It was, yeah. But my point is, I don't think I was so caught up on the age because there was so much other stuff going on. But what I will say is that I grew up, you know, born in 1980, growing up in the 80s and 90s, constantly being told, even by other women, oh, you know, when you get to a certain age, everything goes downhill.
Oh,
You know,
all the
your looks will
time.
go.
Do you know how many people say to me, the minute you turn 40, that's it, you'll be so hard to lose weight? And I'm like, what? Is there like a bloody switch when
Yeah.
I turn from the
what
7th
did
of January, all of a sudden I'm going to balloon out, am I?
Yeah, but what did I text you?
I don't know.
I was like, life begins at 40.
Loads of people said to me it's such a good age, and it's even my mate. Like she's turning 40 this month, and like we're school friends, and she said to me, "I can't believe we're 40." Like when I look back, when I was like 20, I used to think I knew everything.
Yeah.
And it's so weird. I'm like, yeah, we've actually doubled in age. That's nuts.
But also, what I find really like a moment of like perspective is that in my mind, I'm going to live like a lot longer than another 40 years, right? Or 45 years.
Hopefully.
I will. I
Touch
can't.
wood.
No, I will.
Even if it's not on this planet, it'll be somewhere.
No, I know. Anyway, that's another topic. But my point is, like, when you turn 40, you think of all the things that you've done and achieved, like, in that 40 years, and that you still have another almost lifetime. Because the life expectancy way back when, you know, like, it wouldn't have been that.
No, yeah.
And I think that is really nice to go, wow, I've got another 40 years of experiences and memories to make.
Okay. Do you think like that? I'm always like, so many people are dying young with cancer and stuff. I'm like, will I get to 80?
So what's young to you?
Like 60?
Yeah, it is young.
die?
Both my stepdad and my biological dad, they were like both, I think, 63. I can't remember. And I think that is young, especially. But I know people that are in their 70s and even 80s, and they're still physically active. You know, they're still creating memories. They might kind of like, you know, do it in lesser degree. But some of my friends are still like traveling and living in different parts of the world and just enjoying life.
Oh yeah, I always think the older you get, more money you're gonna have, because you know your kids will have grown up, and you're just gonna have more freedom. And I'm definitely gonna be still physically fit. I'm not. There's no way I'm being one of them people that can't walk around.
Yeah, it's something important. Yeah.
Even if I ended up getting disabled, I'd still be bloody wheeling my little wheelchair around. There's no way I'm staying in the house. Being one of those people.
I think it takes the time, if something does happen and it affects your health or mobility, it does take time to get your mindset into that new,
Yeah.
you know, like when you've been unwell or whatever. But I think, yeah, having that kind of, oh, I want to be in my right mind and be mobile is like a really good thing to aim for. But
because 40's not even that old anymore.
40 isn't
I
old.
remember my mum's 40th party, and I just thought, you know, it did seem old, and now I'm like, it actually feels like, it sounds strange when people like to say I'm 40. Like, it actually sounds strange. Didn't feel weird when I turned 30, but to say 40, it just sounds really old. And I remember looking at people that were in their 40s, and they actually did. They look fucking ancient. You know, like nowadays, no, I don't know how. Is it just the way we dress, or the makeup, the beauty product? What? Like we
I don't know. I
look
think,
so much younger, I think, now at 40 than people used to.
I think it's like if you're looking at a photo from the 80s, for example, I think the hairstyles probably aged people.
Yeah.
They were all like bouffant, you know, like all perms and stuff. They probably aged people a bit. I don't know.
Oh, but I used to work
makeup.
with this woman, and she was like 42, and oh my god, she looked. When I look at her now, I'm like, God, she looked like 60 odd.
Yeah, I don't know why it's different. It is an interesting thought, because it's not like, I mean, obviously people are going to look younger if they have like any type of surgery or work done for a period of time anyway.
But I think we dress younger.
You always wear sports gear. This is an interesting question. Do you think you're going to still be wearing sports gear when you're 50 and 60?
Yeah, you just saw those ladies walk by.
That is true. I did see
gonna be
those
me.
ladies.
That is.
I liked them.
Yeah. I don't know how they noticed the camera.
They've got good peripheral vision. That's my point. What age were those ladies? And they were aware. They were mobile. They were yabbing, chatting. They also had a little bit of nice humour and banter. You know, I don't think age is a thing. I really go with stage of life. I feel like people can turn 40 and still have loads of stuff that they need to be learning and doing. And I really do believe when you say about people dying young, and I think that you have to kind of have some level of faith or belief system in whatever that looks like for you to be able to deal with people that have died young, you know, especially if they've left kids behind, a family behind. It's kind of like having that thought of, oh, they've learned everything they need to learn in this lifetime. That's how I look at it. They're meant to be going at that time, because otherwise it's not easy to get through all of those deaths. And when you see stats associated with 40, you know, it's constantly, oh, well, you don't feel well, it must be perimenopause. Well, you don't know anything about my cycle, you don't know anything about my body. I know it's not that, for example, right? So I think there are assumptions associated with age.
So it is always 40 though. It's like, they say, like, you're supposed to start, you know, you should be lifting weights, doing strength training more once you hit 40. And I'm like, why, like, who's decided it's 40? I don't get where they've got this.
But also I think it depends
number
on your
from.
body. I think your diet and your exercise does depend on, we have actually done we did an episode with exercise, didn't we? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we did,
so,
yeah. Like, I think the diet and your exercise depends on your specific body. Yes, there are people that really benefit from doing weights. There are people that benefit from doing primal moves. You know, there are
What's a
primal moves. I ain't going to do one now. I just don't have the right attire on. They're things that
Would this not
babies...
be the perfect place to do?
It's really nice. We're going to do another episode where we actually show you this place and some other places. But
I'm waiting for a snake.
yeah, there may be a snake. If there is a snake, we will grab the camera and we will show you. But
Might see a bobtail lizard.
okay, so a primal move would be a move of a
I don't
lizard.
know what it is,
No,
but it
it
sounds
would be
really
a move
dodgy.
of like a lizard or a snake or a baby when they're born, when they're crawling, or when they're... It's all moves that we don't do that basically counteract what we're doing now, which is sitting down, and we do a lot of sitting down,
Please
right?
do one.
No.
Right, you're so
I
funny.
can't do it.
At my party, Michael goes, right,
Oh,
he's
what?
chatting to Simon, and Simon's like, oh, imagine if she'd been drinking. And Michael's like, what do you mean? Has she not been drinking?
Did you thought I was drunk?
She's literally there. She knows nobody at this party but me, and she's there. She gets these grapes, and she's going, I don't even know why you started doing that. You're like, I'm just shaking the grapes.
It went with the music.
And then she just starts, Pink Pony Club came on, and she just starts going around the table like
Yeah,
a
but
hawk.
she would have done that with me. She didn't do...
I would have if people's husbands hadn't been there. I didn't
What?
know. If the girls had just been there, I would have done it because it's different. But when it's like people's husbands and I don't know them, I was like, oh
But
no,
it's
I
a
look like an
party.
absolute fool. I
Oh,
wasn't
did I
drunk.
look like a fool? I don't really
No,
care.
you didn't
She
look
did.
like a fool.
She
I
did.
thought it was hilarious and it was like the best entertainment. I wish everyone else joined in, but they were all being boring.
I got a little bit bored, so I went on the trampoline.
Yes, we're on the trampoline and then I joined
in the
her.
dark.
But why, like, when I look back, I was like, I said to my mate in Scotland, I was like, everyone was gone by 11. I was like, if you'd have been there, like, she literally would have been there till 3, 4 in the morning. I was like,
I think it was fine the time it finished. It started at 5, 11 o'clock's fine.
everyone went back home sober. It was just a very different, it was nice because I wasn't hungover the next day. But it
You
was just,
had drinks though.
yeah, but I was just up and down, like,
You were
I
up
feel
and
like I
doing
didn't really chat to her, you know, because I was constantly making cocktails.
I'm not even
and
going to tell you what she said
stressing.
to one of her guests, the first thing to come out of her mouth.
What
Can I
did
say it?
Yeah, what did
And then I
say?
can cut it out if you don't.
What did I
The thing
say?
is, Lauren's really blunt, and that's okay. I like that
Oh, the
about
dog
her.
thing.
But she went, so there was one of her friends, and I did make sure she was okay afterwards. She'd had an injection in her hand because she had an injury, and she was just chatting and stuff. And then Lauren plonks down, no word of a lie, she'd had one sip of alcohol. There's no drink in her.
No.
And then she went, oh, I didn't know your dog died on Christmas Day. Did your dog die? I didn't even know you had a dog. Oh, if Bellows dies, I'd kill myself. And I'm like, what the absolute bleep? So I was like, and then this poor guest who's a friend of Lauren's, her eyes are filling up. And I'm like, Lauren, you need to just like, yeah, go and get her another drink. And then I had a little chat with her and I gave her a little hug, even though I'd only just met her because I felt for her. Lauren doesn't mean it, but it just came
I didn't
out.
mean it in a bad
I
way.
know, but it came out like...
I didn't know she had a dog, and then all of a sudden I saw on Facebook, not only did she have a dog, but they put it down on Christmas Day, and I was just like,
It was
oh my god, I'd be devastated.
So all of these thoughts occurred in Lauren's head and they came out in a different order. So the first thing that we would have said if you're in a situation like this is, oh, I didn't know you had a dog. Are you okay? Is everything okay? I saw your post on Facebook, right? That's kind of like bringing it up, but not kind of anyway. So...
but then because she was crying, you were like, just Lauren, just end the conversation. I couldn't.
She kept bringing it up. So I changed the subject. This was after Lauren had bought her a drink out, and then she brought up the subject again. But I didn't know you had a dog. I'm like, Lauren, just let's
trying to
change
dig myself
the
out of the hole.
subject. So that was a really nice icebreaker at the 40th party.
I know, literally, first guess, within 2 minutes I made her cry.
Well, a tear didn't drop. She sucked them back in. Her eyes were filled
I've
with
never
tears.
seen her emotional like that. So that's a different side to her. Except when she like gets out for a duck.
Yeah, so out for a duck is a cricket thing. So I dressed in a cricket outfit for Lauren's birthday because she loves cricket. So I wore bright red shiny stilettos, which was the ball. Then I wore some sporty type trousers with green and white, and then a white top that was like the cricket vibe. Every one of her friends was like, oh, when are you going to start cricket? I'm like, I don't know the rules. I'm not starting. That's not the thing. No, not starting cricket.
Why?
I don't know.
I think you'd be amazing on the field though, because the energy level.
I'll be like, come on!
Yeah, it would be so funny. Because one of the women on our team, she's like, thinks that she's only on it because her daughter's on the team. And she's like, I know I shouldn't be on this team, I should be on the other one. But I'm only on it for my daughter. But she might not be like the best bowler or the best batter, but she brings like, she's the most chatty in the field and she brings the energy and you need that. I think you'd be good.
Yes, but how long? Firstly, I don't know the rules.
Need to know the rules.
Secondly, what do you wear? Just normal sports gear?
No. You wear the green cricket trousers and the cricket top.
So essentially scrubs. You wear scrubs.
No, they're a bit thick than that. Why is this fly not leaving me alone?
The fly likes you. So anyway, Lauren loves cricket. I don't know whether I'll end up joining them. We shall see. That might be something I do.
I don't know if you'd be on my team though. That's the only problem.
I probably wouldn't want to be on your team.
A bit rude.
Yeah. So any last things about 40, turning 40? Any messages to anyone out there turning 40?
Well, it's not a big deal really, is it?
It's something to celebrate though.
I am glad.
Yeah.
My friend, it was her it would have been her 40th, like on Sunday. She died when she was like 27.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
So that was weird when I had to think. I was like, oh.
Was that one of your school friends?
Yeah, so I was just like, oh, I'm actually quite lucky to have got to 40. Take it for granted.
That is really young, 27. Mm-hmm. Yeah, bless her. Yeah, that's tough, and I think it is a moment of perspective, isn't it? Like people get caught up on, oh, I'm getting older, but actually it's like
you should be
grateful you're getting older.
That's why, like, I know we all. I mean, it's annoying when you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, I'm not, I don't look the way I did, and it's like everyone wants to look the best they can, but like that's why I like all the celebs like Kate Winslet and stuff, because they're like, you should be grateful you're getting old.
Yeah.
And like stop putting all this shit in your face. Trying to look young and just be happy.
So a little sidestep to that, I don't go on social media a huge amount, especially haven't during the holiday, but for some reason Katie Price, Jordan come up on my Instagram suggestions, and the first thing that came into my head is obviously I understand how the industry's got to her and she's, I guess, probably unwell with the amount, I don't know whether you know Kate Price Jordan or of her. She's obviously very skinny. She's got her big enhancement again in her face. But it came into my mind for some reason, I wonder how old she is, because she's been a part of our pop culture youth, hasn't she, for a long time.
She'll be in her 40s.
Do you think she's...
100% she's in her 40s.
Yeah, so then when I look at that, then I just kind of think there's no attachment to her identity in a way. Like, I mean, obviously her eyes still resemble her, I think, and then everything else just doesn't look like her. And I find that really kind of sad. I find it sad, but I mean obviously it's nothing to do with anyone else, right? But I find it also interesting because, as you say, the mindset I think we need to shift towards, like, yeah, it's not a bad thing.
It's not, I think it's good, like, to obviously eat well and exercise and try and look the
pamper
best.
yourself a little bit. Yeah.
And even if people want Botox and stuff, like, it's not big. It's when they completely change that and they take it too far.
But I think that's related to something that's.
It's a mental
Yeah,
issues.
I think
and I
it's
can
like
understand
dysmorphia.
being in the. I mean, even just from doing this, like, it's like seeing myself on camera for the first time. I'm like, oh God.
But
It's
even
not
now,
nice.
we're kind of over it now, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're kind of like, oh yeah, I looked really, like, there was one episode.
mean, look at me.
There was one
I didn't even
episode.
shave my legs.
No, but remember the episode where I'm like, geez, I put a,
Michelin man.
I did. I look like a Michelin man. It's a gorgeous fleece. It's a like recycled fleece. It's from Patagonia. It's a
Oh, it's
great.
expensive.
Yeah, it was. Well, Simon bought it for me. It was. I was like, how much do you spend on that? But it's lovely. It's cozy. But boy, did I look like a. Yeah, I look a rounder version of myself. And then I was just like, Jordan, you just got to let this go because it's just one of those things. Like you've got a big jumper on and you're slouching, right? So we kind of sometimes do mention, oh yeah, you know, the episode was good, but I don't like the way I looked at it. So it's kind of like a good process for us as well.
Yeah.
And on that point, we're going to round up. I've liked talking about 40, and I felt like it's really nice because it's so close to your 40th. And she randomly picked that. That is true. That wasn't orchestrated, but it wasn't.
I didn't even know it was in there.
Yeah, I put it in last night, and it was at the bottom. So yeah, let us know what you think of turning 40 or any age. Please, yeah, send us a comment. Please subscribe. Yeah, that's it. We'll see you next
You know,
time. I
maybe
guess.
Jordan will let me put a video up of her doing the Pink Pony Club.
The Pink Pony Club. Did you take a video of that? Oh, you
Got
cheeky
evidence?
sausage! I didn't see that video.
I didn't show it to you.
What? I want to see that video. I
haven't
don't
put
want
it on social media.
Good, because you put one of me on the trampoline on there. It's a good job I was like holding my top. I didn't. Anyway, we'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, see you later.
Bye. Hot.
Oh my God, I'm sweating. I'm dying. I don't know,
Oh.
you're in a jumper.